Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, you're watching the best high school sports broadcast brought to you by high school students and community members. We are Arrow TV. We've got a good one here for you in the Watertown Civic Arena. The Mitchell Kernels have come to town to face off against the Watertown Arrows. We have a new segment for you here on Arrow TV. It is Arrow Game Day with Trayton Hemrick, Spencer Wenches, Talon Jurgens, and Ty Leonards. Take it away, guys.
And welcome to Watertown Arrow Game Day. Today, we bring you a girls' game. Watertown Arrows versus the Mitchell Kernels. Spencer, can you talk about the matchup last year against these two guys?
Yeah, going into last year's state tournament, we were going in as the 8th seed, and Mitchell had an upset, so they were going in as the 12th seed. And we just didn't have a good shooting night overall, and lost that game to them. And number 14 for them, Sawyer Stobner, she was just amazing from the field and just an overall great player that game, and we need to stop her tonight. Tal, you want to hit us with the stats from last week?
Yeah, so last week the Arrows went down to Brookings and played the Bobcats. They had a decent shooting performance on Friday. They shot 33% from the field, 25% from three, and 51% from the free throw line. The main difference in the game was their rebounding. They got 70% of the defensive rebounds and 100% of them in the first quarter, and that ultimately led them to winning in overtime.
That's big time right there, guys. Yeah. That's big time.
So, you want to lead us to our prediction?
Here we go.
All right, so we started this last week with the boys. We've got all 5 starters' names in here, and we draw one of the starters and guess how many points they're gonna have. I think last week
I secured the dub last week,
yep.
So I get to choose first. I'll pick the name. Addie Johnston. You know, she's a shooter, and she shoots well tonight. I think she's going to score about 12 points for the Arrows.
Yeah, I see Addie as a playmaker. She's going to make plays for everyone else, get people open, get them the ball when they need them. I think she's going to have 8 points tonight.
Ty?
Ty, you want to go?
I'll go.
All right.
Wow, guys. You know, I was thinking closer to 42 points.
Are we thinking school record tonight?
Is that a school record? 42?
Could be.
I don't
Could
know.
be tonight.
Yeah.
Could be tonight.
But yeah, 42 points from Addie Johnson.
Spencer, what do you think?
I think that Addie's going to have 16 tonight, seeing her performance in the overtime win against the Bobcats. I think she's going to be having 16.
You guys aren't even close. All right, so guys, what are the keys to success tonight?
My biggest key for the Arrows tonight is turnovers. Make sure that you keep the ball on the offensive side as much as you can. You know, don't turn over the ball so that they have more opportunities to score than us. So that's my biggest key for the Arrows to win the game tonight.
I think the Arrows are going to have another good rebounding performance. Like last week, they won the rebound battle, and they won the game in overtime barely. I think they're going to squeak out another win with rebounding tonight.
Spencer, you go.
You know, I said it last week and I'll say it again. I think that the Arrows are going to need to pass the ball around the perimeter to get those shooters open, and I think that'll be their key to success with them shooters on the three-point line. Ty, you want to hit us with a closer?
All right, so guys, who's winning the game tonight?
You know, it's always an easy pick for me. It's the Watertown Arrows. I think they're going to go out there and play some like some absolute dogs. All right, we got some dogs on our team, 35, and they're going to go out there and get that dub.
I agree. I think the Arrows are going to squeak out another win tonight. Hopefully not as close as last week, but we'll see.
That's what.
I'm going to say the Watertown Arrows. You know, these guys took it to us last year at state, but you know we're going to get them back. You know, we're going to come out on top.
You know, I think that the Arrows are going to win tonight, and I think if they can stop their Mitchell's #1 player, Sawyer, I think they're going to come out on top tonight.
We want to give a quick shout out to the boys. They go down in Mitchell and they play boys Kernels tonight. We wish them good luck and bring it back to you guys up in the booth.
Guys, Arrow Game Day, a new segment here on Arrow TV. I am Cam Corey, and joining me in the booth tonight is Lynn Langrock. Happy to have you here with us tonight, Lynn.
Well, thanks, Cam. I'm happy to be here.
So we have an ESD conference match tonight between the Mitchell Kernels and the Watertown Arrows. Both come into tonight with one win. Let's first talk about Mitchell.
Well, the Kernels are coached by Dave Brooks and assisted by Mackenzie Mertens and Christina Simpson. Last season, the Kernels were 10-14 on the year and earned a berth in the South Dakota AA Class AA tournament at the Pentagon. They were a younger team last year and were playing their best basketball down the stretch. They lost 4 seniors to graduation, but returned arguably their top 2 players and start the season receiving votes in the AA media poll. We certainly expect the Kernels to be led on the court by the Black Hills State University commit and 5'9" senior Sawyer
Stabner. She's a good one.
Last season, Stabner had a phenomenal season, averaging a double-double at 13.9 points and 11.1 rebounds per game. In fact, Stabner was the only Class AA player to average a double-double.
Yeah, she's good.
We can talk about Stabner all night, but last year, the Kernels went into the Sodak 16 as the number 12 seed. They ended up playing the number 5 Brandon Valley.
Yeah, they played spoilers last year.
They did. They really did. Stabner led team to the upset by putting up 25 points and grabbing 14 rebounds to get him into the state tournament, obviously showcasing what kind of talent she has, well above her double-double average. So big players, big games, right?
Yes, absolutely.
She's going to be tough for the Arrows tonight, and last year in the state tournament as well. She led the Kernels to the upset win over the Arrows with the slash line, 14 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, 4 blocks. Not a bad night.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Not a bad night at all. So the other Kernel that we really need to discuss is only a sophomore. Addie Simpson, as a freshman, averaged over 10 points a game. She's considered a sharpshooter for the Kernels. She has range. She shoots a 3 at a high percentage. Got to get a hand in her face. Got to guard her on the perimeter, or she's going to potential to burn you.
Yeah, and she was the the Kernels' top scorer against the Huron Tigers in their last game. So she's starting the season as their sharpshooter as well.
She is, and any game she could go off, and you never know what she might end up with. So in addition to Stabner and Seams, the Kernels will also return 2 starters in Carson Weich and Lauren Van Overschelde. So, I mean, they're a solid group.
They are a solid group, and appreciate that look at the Kernels. On the Arrow side of the court, they are led by second-year head coach Chad Rohde. He is assisted this year by returning assistants Mackenzie Bulow and Stacy Hendricks. New to the coaching staff for the Arrows this year is Ellie Stevenson. Ellie was a standout player for the Arrows and played her collegiate basketball. And she played some fast pitch in college also at the University of Minnesota Morris. She does have significant coaching experience in the club ranks as well as with the Hamlin Chargers. Last season, the Arrows broke their 14-year drought and qualified for the state AA tournament where they finished in 8th place. The Arrows, they did lose their all-state guard in Jada Young to graduation. Young is now playing college ball down in Mitchell at Dakota Wesleyan University. They also lost Maddie Rohde and Kendall Paulson to graduation. In addition, Grace Corey, the junior, is also out due to a knee injury.
Certainly some shoes to fill.
Absolutely. We're going to send this down to Mark Bellum for our national anthem by the Watertown Arrow Band, led by director Austin Fordham.
First, let's meet the Arrow cheerleaders. Natalie Benson, Annabelle Brendan, Kendra Buholtz, Brooklyn Dahl, Shane Hoffman, Lauren Keller, Mackenzie Lewis, Kaylin Nordquist, Cameron Nordquist, Alexis Olson, and Adrian Schultz. Arrow cheerleading advisor is Mallory Hoffman. And now your starting lineups for the visiting Mitchell Kernels. Number 12, a junior 5'5" guard, Lauren Van Overshield. Number 14, a senior 5'9" forward, Sawyer Stabner. Number 23, a junior 5'6" guard, Carson White. Number 32, a sophomore 5'8" guard, Addie Simpson. And number 42, a senior 5'10" forward, Allison Meyerink. Assistant coaches are Mackenzie Mertens and Christina Simpson. Head coach of the Kernels, Dave Brooks. And now your Watertown Arrows. Number 4, 5'6" senior guard, Eddie Johnston. Number 5, a 5'10" junior forward, Emery Thury. Number 14 is a 5'7" senior guard, Miranda Feltner. Number 24, a 5'8" senior guard, Jay. And number 34, a 5'10" senior forward, Avery Munger. Assistant coaches are Ellie Stevenson, Stacy Hendricks, and Mackenzie Buell. Head coach of the Arrows, Chad Lodi.
And there we go. Lynn, what do you got for us? What are we expecting here tonight between these two teams?
Well, it's a matchup between two undersized guard-focused teams with clearly athletic players. Both teams will look to transition quickly, not get into a half-court game. They're going to want to run. Both teams are quick and have the ability to shoot from the perimeter. We expect the Kernels to full-court press some and put pressure on our guards, especially as we try to break in at the point guard. The Arrows didn't show a lot of full-court pressure against Brookings in their first game. Played a strong zone defense with a mix of man. While it seems the Kernels come in tonight with a bit more experience, we know both teams are athletic, scrappy, and they're both going to shoot the ball.
And I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. The Arrows take the possession to start. Falconer at the key gives it over to Lund. Lund down low to a cutting Munger. Munger takes a dribble, goes up and in. She's fouled.
A nice, strong move to the basket.
Allison Meyerink called for the foul. Munger is on the board with 2 in her last game down in Brookings. She had 2 points, so she's looking to get on the board early here. Shot goes up by Faulkner, rebounded by the Mitchell Kernels. Seamson guarded by Faulkner. Shots up and just off the mark. Rebound by Avery Munger. So here in the early going, Munger is making her mark. Does give an errant pass there to Johnson, and the steal goes Kernels' way. And Miranda Faulkner is going to be called for a foul there. She tried to get the rebound, didn't get it, stuck her hands in there, and not a good foul.
Not a good foul. Bad turnover leads to bad fouls.
Carson White, a 5'6" junior guard at the free throw line. Her first one is in, 7:09 here in period number 1. The Arrows up 2-1 in the early going. Second one's up, and the rebound, offensive rebound, comes down to the Kernels. So the Arrows need to get on the boards here early, and the Kernels are out rebounding them. But in fact, the Arrows and Kernels, they're both undersized. Not one is much taller than the other. So this is going to come down to boxing out and grit.
Absolutely. Fundamentals. Control the ball, take care of the ball, follow your shots, get your rebounds.
Stabner kicks it out to the three-point land where it's up, and it's good for Seamson. She is the sharpshooter. You talked about it in pregame, Lynn, and there she showed it.
She is.
Arrows will put this in on the sideline. Faulkner to throw it in. She does get it into Johnston. Johnston in the corner to Munger. Munger back to Faulkner. Down low to Thury. Thury had 16 points against Brookings. She's led the team. She misses that one. Jade Lund up, no good. Rebound comes down by way of Stabner. Stabner's going to run in transition, and that's one of the things that Coach Brooks told me is he wants his team to be in transition. He doesn't like a half-court offense tonight. He wants to get up and down the court, and we're seeing that in the early going here.
Certainly by the Kernels. They are happy to run the ball. Up and down the court, faster, faster.
Full court press, and they do clear out. Addie Johnson running that point guard. She gets it across that timeline to Thury. Thury right-hand dribble. She stopped. She can take the jumper and overshoots the hoop. Does go off of a Kernel out of bounds. So the Arrows will inbound it right underneath their basket. Johnston will inbound this, and she does to Munger at the top of the key. Left wing to Thury. Thury right-hand dribble into the lane. She's going to go up, and she powers it through. Good, strong move by Emery Thury.
Kernels are getting out into transition really fast. They're bringing the ball up. Arrows got to be ready for that.
Rebound comes down to the Kernels. They stay on that offensive rebound. 32 goes in of Seamson. Another offensive rebound by the Kernels. And an inbound by Faulkner right to Seamson, and Seamson puts it right in. So a couple of unforced errors here in the early going when, talking to Coach Rohde before the game, they only had 13 turnovers in that game against Brookings. 2 costly ones here in the early going of this game. Kernels up 8-4. Pushing it up the court. The Arrows are slow in transition. Missed the hoop. Faulkner gets the loose ball, and she is going to be fouled by Addie Seamson. So the Arrows are not getting up they aren't matching the Kernels right now in the speed.
Nope, they're not. The Kernels, just like we thought, they're going to run the ball, and if we're not going to get back on defense, what we're seeing is what's going to happen.
Malia Kranz checks in for the Arrows. She is a 5'10" sophomore. She had 7 points against the Brookings Bobcats and really had a nice game for her first game playing at the varsity level. Johnson is guarded by number 33, who's seeing her first action tonight in Mackenzie Peterson for the Kernels. Johnson over on the right wing. tries to do the pick and roll, not there. Malia tries to dribble, and she is stopped. They're going to call jump ball. Possession to Mitchell. It's probably not what they want to do, dribble in that situation. They got to look to be a little quicker, but the speed of the Kernels is really creating fits for the Arrows. But luckily for the Arrows that Mitchell has just been off on their shots here in the early going. Jade Lund puts it over to Thury. Thury down to Kranz. Kranz is double teamed, puts it down in the court, and it is stolen again. We're going to get a foul by Emery Thury. So Emery Thury called for the foul. She went after the loose ball. And the Arrows just, this is a quicker team than Brookings, and right now the Arrows are struggling with that. Watertown Arrows call a timeout. Coach Rohde wants to talk about it before this gets out of hand. We're going to take it too. We'll be back in 60 seconds. And welcome back to the Watertown Civic Arena, where the Mitchell Kernels have an 8-4 lead with 3:57 remaining in period number 1. Van Overshield brings across that timeline. She is picked up by Johnston. Over to the left wing, back to top of the key. Loose ball, and we should have a jump down there. Miranda Falconer and Allison Meyerink both hit the ground and get that jump ball, and this time possession arrow points the way of the Watertown Arrows. Miranda Falconer will inbound this on the sideline. She does to Addie Johnston, who is running the point this year for Jada Young. For the last several years, Jada Young has been the point for the Arrows, and now Addie Johnston resumes that role. She takes the shot, no good. Good rebound by Thury. Does lose the handle. Neely Johnson seeing her first action here tonight. Faulkner at the top. So off of the Kernels, out of bounds, the Arrows will maintain possession.
Certainly the Kernels pressuring the guards, but we're getting open looks at threes, and we can't, if we miss a one or two, we can't be afraid to keep putting them up. Open looks got to be taken.
Johnston looking for something inside, nothing there. Does give the outlet to Faulkner. Faulkner, the left-hander, gives it over to Neely Johnson. Neely shoots off the rim and picked up by the Kernels. We've got a race going on. Johnson is the only one back. Turnover by the Kernels. Faulkner is going to bring it back. Reach-in foul by Lauren Van Overshield. Maybe a little bit of a frustration foul there. She came down, had a one-on-one, ends up turning it over and then getting the foul. That seems like that's how that works.
It more than not.
Johnson at the top. Over to Neely Johnson. Neely looking, finds Malia Kranz. Malia swings it over to Johnston. Back to Thury. Steal by Stabner. Fast break. Seamson in with the left-handed layup. 10-4, Kernels up. Thury with the dribble. She's going to go left over to Johnson. Johnson thinks about it, but does give it up to Thury. And foul is going to be called on Neely Johnson on an off-ball foul. The screen, is that what they were calling the foul? I didn't see it.
Must have been. I didn't see that part either. I was watching the Kernels and they're playing their man-to-man defense. They certainly have the athleticism to match up to us to be able to do that, make things a little more difficult for our guards and our posts.
Maddie Kemp, a 5'6" senior guard, in for the Kernels. Backdoor cut by Stabner, gives it over to number 33 of Mackenzie Peterson, and it's good. And are they saying it's on before the shot? No.
Basket by Mackenzie Peterson.
The end one.
They're saying it was underneath, before the shot, apparently. Didn't see that. Inbound to Simpson.
Yeah, the basket did count.
I'm confused.
Arrows did a nice job out of the timeout holding the Kernels to no points. But the last minute, they kind of let the fast break come back a little bit, and the Kernels have got a couple baskets. So
Faulkner inbound to Johnston. Johnston with the left hand. She is picked up by Peterson. Gets it across the 10-second line. Johnston loses the handle. Lund goes after it. Picks that up, going to bring it back. Back to Johnston, cutting Thury. Thury goes up, and no good. Rebound comes down by Stabner. Stabner's going to push it up the court with the right hand, guarded by Thury. Thury gets her stop. Stabner gives it off, and going to be out of bounds. So turnover by the Kernels. Arrows will inbound this right around midcourt. Just on their side. Gonna get in and steal on the inbound. Rebound by Miranda Faulkner, misses the layup. Thury left hand drive, she goes up, no good. Rebound by the way of the Kernels, and they just go. They don't pick up the ball, they just go and attack the basket. Shots up, and it is good by Addie Simpson. 15-4 run here for the Kernels. They're up in period number 1. 1:01 remaining.
Hi, I'm JD Young, and I played for the Arrows from 2019 to 2023. I don't really have a specific favorite memory, but I'd have to say it would go from all the bus rides to making it to the state tournament, to all the relationships I created throughout my years, and building the culture. Arrow basketball is truly one of a kind. You're watching Arrow TV. Go Arrows.
And there was Jada Young on Arrow TV joining us there. She is having in her first season down at Dakota Wesleyan playing women's basketball there in Mitchell. So ironic that she comes on, joins us here, and welcomes you all to Arrow TV. And we're playing Mitchell up here in Watertown.
Agreed.
So the Arrows will inbound it. We have Emma Hendricks, a senior, in for the first time tonight. Faulkner now will play that point guard role when Addie Johnston is taking a breather. Munger also back in. She tries to feed it low to Thury, over her head, and steal by the Kernels. Once again, the Kernels are pushing it up the court. Nice one-handed shot by Brianna Kirsch, but it does not go in, and the rebound is by the Arrows. Arrows lose the ball, and in a transition, fast break layup is Simpson. Simpson now has 14 points.
She's having a good night.
Well, we talked about her in the get-go, and she runs that court, and most of them have been on quick transition. Avery Munger goes in with the shot. She is fouled by Maddie Kemp, a 5'6" senior guard. Avery Munger. She is a senior, a 5'10" senior forward at the line. Arrows down 17-4. First one's up and no good.
Well, certainly the Kernels, exactly what we expected. The shot goes up by Watertown's end, and they're releasing the guards, and they're off. And they're going to continue to do it because it works.
And they're quick and
Athletic.
quick and athletic from top to bottom. Right now, the Arrows are just having a little bit of difficulty of matching up with the quickness of the Kernels.
And if the Arrows need to start making a couple shots, if we get a couple to go down, that's going to slow that transition down.
And much like that very similar thing, 9 seconds here in the first quarter. And steal by Lund. And they're going to call a jump ball with 2.3 seconds left. You know, as I was saying, when they played down in Brookings last week, and the Arrows did come out of that game with an overtime win, the shots weren't dropping there in the first half either. They started dropping in the second half, which got them back into the game. And this should run this quarter out, and the Arrows want to take a breather. Coach Rohde's going to talk about it. Going to have to talk about what do you say as a coach right now when it just seemed to be just that much slower than your opposition right now?
You got to play solid defense. You have to box out. You cannot let those second chance points. They're going to haunt you all night. And don't be afraid to keep shooting the ball. They're going to start going down. Your shooters are your shooters. If you get an open look, you got to take it. And you have to get back on defense. Recognize Mitchell is going to run. Get back on defense.
And we saw that right away. The second chance opportunities, especially on the offensive side, they kind of dug a hole right there in that beginning of that first quarter.
A few turnovers led to transition buckets, a couple offensive rebounds. They add up pretty quick.
Well, no surprise by our, we talked about it, Addie Simpson. She's only a sophomore. She came on last season. She was a nemesis for the Arrows there in that state tournament. A sharp shooter. She's a shooter, but really tonight she's doing it in the transition game. Good outlets, quick passes, but Stabner also is commanding that court. But also, Coach Brooks is rotating his players in and out. I think they've gone 8 deep here tonight, I think is what on my count.
Yep. And clearly 14 of the 17 points for Simpson. She's the one that we need to look at right now. Try to slow her down a little bit.
Johnson over to Lund at the right perimeter. Tries to get it back to Johnston for a shot, and it does go off of a Kernel out of bounds. Miranda Faulkner will inbound this. A box formation for the Arrows into Thury. Thury swings it, looks to Miranda, nothing going, gives it back to Thury. Thury now to Lund. Lund to Munger. Munger over to the left perimeter of Faulkner. Right-hand dribble for Faulkner into the lane. She goes up, blocked by the Kernels, and it is picked up by Mitchell. Brought right back in transition. There's no walking for this Kernel team. Left-hand dribble. Steal by Thury. Thury's going to go up for the right-handed layup, and she misses it. No foul called.
Right back for the Kernels.
Meyerink on the other end gets the hoop. Faulkner brings it back to Johnston. Johnston to Thury. Thury looks, right-hand dribble into the paint. Now to Lund. Lund takes the shot, and that is our first Arrow bullseye by Jade Lund. 19-8 in quarter number 2, 6:40 remaining. She picks it up. That looks like a double dribble, and it is.
Guessing the Kernel's going to stay in that man-to-man defense. It's working for them. We're not getting many looks inside. They keep that token pressure on the guards. It just makes life pretty tough out there. And really, until the Arrows hit a couple threes, they don't really need to guard us too heavy on the up perimeter.
Long pass, just about picked up by the Kernels. Miranda does track that down. She gets it back. 4 on 5 and turnover. the crowd wanted an over and back. The ref is saying no because there was a touch. The Kernels attacked the basket and personal foul called on the Arrows. That will send Carson White, a 5'6" junior guard, to the free throw line.
Mitchell keeping their players fresh, subbing in a couple more.
Yep, Brianna Kirsch comes back into the game. First, that one's off the rim. Another offensive rebound for the Kernels. And it's going to stay on the Kernel side. The Arrows just not fighting for those rebounds, a little slow tonight. Simpson. Peterson stuck down low. Gives it off to Stabner. Stabner, nice inbound pass into Kirsch, and Kirsch loses her footing, goes down, and that is a travel. So a turnover for Mitchell. Steal by the Kernels on the inbound. Addie Johnson called for the foul, frustration foul. And timeout by the Arrows, 5:48 remaining, and it's a 28 ball game. We're going to take it to. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to the Watertown Civic Arena. The Mitchell Kernels up early here, 22-8 with 5:48 remaining in the second period. They are led by the sophomore guard, Addie Simpson. She has 14 points here in the first half.
So what do you think when you're Coach Rody? He's taken 3 of his 5 timeouts for the game. What are we talking about here in that huddle?
Well, I think he's frustrated. They have to make better passes. They have to, fight. And I don't see the fight out of them right now. Now, don't take that away from the Kernels. The Kernels are running up and down the court. And the Arrows, I think, are just that much slower and unable to keep up with them in transition. But right there, I think, is a frustration, that Coach Rody's talking about. No box out, and the rebound goes down to the Kernels. Is a foul called on number 33, Mackenzie Peterson of the Mitchell Kernels. The Arrows will inbound it. And we're seeing a freshman for the first time tonight in Jordan Remmers. Jordan Remmers gets it across that 10-second line. She is picked up. Over to Munger. Munger looks low, picks up her dribble, gives it over to Lund. Lund to Remmers. Remmers on the right perimeter. Back to Munger. Munger, long pass to Lund. Dangerous pass with the quickness that Mitchell has. Faulkner is a left-hander. She goes hard to the lane, and she is going to draw the foul, and is fouled by number 44, Brianna Kirsch. Miranda Faulkner will go to the line. Generally, well, I'll wait. I'll wait before I say this so we don't get a broadcaster's curse. First one's up and good.
Certainly try to keep this game from getting out of hand in the first half. Keep it to that 10 points, getting into halftime. Then you got a chance.
Second one's up, and she misses that second one. So I was going to say, Faulkner generally is a good free throw shooter. She goes 1 for 2 that trip. And the freshman, Remmers, gets the rebound. She looks up and tries to get it to Thury, who is open, and just not enough muster behind that pass, and it is stolen by the Mitchell Kernels.
The right idea. Like to see that out of the freshman.
Seamson shoots. Rebound comes the way of Munger. Munger will give it over to Faulkner. Faulkner's going to cross that 10-second line. Saved by Remmers to Thury. Thury at the top of the key. Now to Jade Lund. Jade Lund over to Remmers. Remmers looks low. She could dribble. She does. And she is going to draw the foul. That was really tight defense by Mackenzie Peterson of the Kernels, and Remmers recognized that as the freshman said, hey, I could take her, and she did and drew the foul. So
if you have that first quick step off the dribble and that you get that guard to commit, you can get the body contact. A lot of times draw that foul. And 2 more fouls, and we're in the double bonus here. The Arrows get 2 shots the rest of the way.
Remmers with the wide open. Nice. Gives it over to Kranz. And Kranz picks up the foul.
I like the unselfish play, but Remmers probably had a better look at taking it herself.
She probably did. That's a balance. You want to go up for the shot, but you also want that team aspect. And she'll come. She's a good player. She's seeing varsity time right away. Nice cut by Remmers, and she goes up. No good. Rebound comes down to Mitchell. Wyke is picked up by Lund. Picks up her dribble. Then over Shield. Nice drive and rebound to Faulkner. Faulkner to Thury. Thury pushes it up to Lund. Lund is stopped at the baseline.
Mitchell's doing a nice job of pressuring our guards off the rebound to not let us get into that fast break. Gives their team a chance to get back on defense. We have not ran the ball fast break real well tonight. Haven't had many opportunities.
Well, I think part of that we have to give a lot of credit to Mitchell.
Absolutely.
They're really quick. They're coming off the bench. Even their bench players are really quick. Neely Johnson into the game for Jade Lund. White, and nice feed down low. Malia Kranz with the rebound. Good, strong rebound. She picks up her dribble, goes to Neely Johnson, and just a little bit too hard for Neely to handle that when it goes out of bounds. I haven't kept track of the turnovers. We don't have stats tonight, unfortunately, but I'm betting that number is not real great for the Arrows.
Going to be double digits, I would think, at this point. Kranz kind of got caught in no man's land on that last one, and she had to make a throw, and unfortunately couldn't handle it.
Avery Munger back into the game for Malia Kranz. Mitchell will inbound the basket down below their hoop. Seamson, top of the key, now picked up by Faulkner, which was a good switch by the Arrows. Stabner, nice pass down low with the left-handed shot of Meyering. That was a nice play by the Mitchell Kernels.
And they've ran that a few times and had some success with it. They don't always convert, but they do a nice job of it.
Faulkner to Thury. Thury left-hand dribble, nice drive.
You know, the Arrows have had a couple
drop.
good looks at the basket. They've had some close shots. They're just not falling tonight yet.
Shot 3 up for Sawyer Stabner, and that is good. Kernels up 25-9. Johnson over on the right wing, gives it off to Thury, the top. Thury right-hand dribble, gives it to Remmers on that left wing. Remmers with the drive in the lane. She goes up, no good.
Kernels staying in that man-to-man defense. And again, another arrow look at the basket, a nice layup.
And we've had some opportunities tonight from that high percentage generally shots, and hopefully that they'll start to drop here soon.
Correct.
Faulkner under the basket. She's going to inbound it. She's holding it. She now gives an outlet to Thury. Thury tries to go low, and it is stolen by Stabner. Stabner, right-hand dribble. She's going to go all the way, and she's going to get the foul off of Thury and the bucket. She is going to try and get the traditional three-point play.
Which one's mine?
Emma Hendricks checks for Watertown. Brianna Kirsch for the Kernels.
Stabner, it's up, and it is good. 28-9 in the first half, second quarter. Emma Hendricks. Another turnover for the Arrows. They tried to push it up the court there. Does go off of the outstretched hands of Hendricks. Nice drive inside by Seamson. Gives it back out to Stabner. Stabner shoots. The rebound down low by Maddie Kemp. 5'6" senior guard had position down low and got the rebound and keeps the possession by way of the Kernels.
Watertown in a little bit of zone on that one. Switching things up a little bit. Stay in zone.
Shot by Stabner. It's in. It is good. Stabner with 9 points in the first half. Seamson and Stabner have been the threats and really that nemesis for the Arrows here tonight. Over to Remmers. Remmers sees Faulkner. Faulkner dribbles, outlets to Emma Hendricks. Emma Hendricks shoots, no good. Rebound by the Kernels, but Avery Munger is able to tie her up. Possession will stay with the Kernels. So good shot by Hendricks, just a little bit long again. We just need these shots to drop, and this would be a different score. A little full court press by the Arrows. The Kernels do pick it up. Shot goes up by Kirsch, and Kirsch gets a three-pointer. Oh, they're going to call that two?
That's a two. She foot was on the line.
Okay.
Bright spot going into half. Another turnover by the Arrows.
No foul call. We go to the half with a score of 33-9. We're going to take a break. We'll be back.
Fourth graders and under can shoot a free throw. Anyone else shoots a three-point shot. If you make it, you win a 2-liter bottle of soda pop. Break out the moldy money. Come on down and support a good cause.
What he said, the bank isn't a place to lock up money. It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all? And the bigger idea is to work. What if your bank asked, what if a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change and you put out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made a move today?
At Premier, it's about doing what's right for our customers, employees, and community.
I'm Jade Lund and I'm a senior.
I'm Addie Hivert and I'm also a senior.
All right, Jade, would you rather have terrible memory or absolutely no common sense?
Probably no common sense because, I don't know. I'm already kind of, no, I'm just kidding. Okay. Would you rather wear pants 3 sizes too big or shoes 3 sizes too small?
I mean, I'll say the pants because you can wear a belt.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You're traveling for vacation. Are you flying or driving?
Flying. Driving, oh, actually where?
You know, just so don't roll.
Okay, probably fly.
Okay.
All right, your childhood dream job, what is it?
It was actually a daycare lady, and I work at a daycare now, so there's that. When you watch movies, are you watching rom-coms or horror flicks?
Rom-coms, not for me. Not, yeah. Okay. What's your best animal sound that you can make?
Hey Jade, is Bigfoot real?
No, I can't. I don't. Well, I don't know. No. Okay, no. The craziest fashion trend you've rocked, what is it?
Fashion trend?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, okay, sometimes people say I dress like a high fashion grandma, so I feel like, as a whole, it's just that.
But you pull it off.
Thank you. Okay. All right, are you a cat or a dog person?
Definitely a cat. I've never had a pet, but if I were to, it would be a dog.
Okay.
Yep. Study hard all semester or cram the night before a test?
Honestly, I cram the night before.
Yeah, that's fair.
How to study here.
That's good. Ooh.
And welcome back to the Watertown Civic Arena. The Mitchell Kernels came out firing on all cylinders. They were thoroughbreds on the track, really. It put on a show of the against the Watertown Arrows tonight in that first half. They do lead 33-9, and they are led by their two big shooters in Addie Seamson, 14 points in that first half, to go along with Sawyer Stabner's 9 points. The Arrows,
usually the teams come out a little sooner from halftime. I noticed Watertown spent a little more time in the locker room and really didn't do any, they didn't do any shoot around for halftime. So I'm wondering if Coach Rody's maybe talking to him about a little bit of hustle, a little bit of tentativeness to the offensive glass, boxing out, and let's see if we can't stop this Mitchell Kernel team from running so much.
And I think they've got to look at having some, small wins, small, just keep working it into the hoop like they have been. Hopefully they'll start dropping, but they got to start small and hopefully go on a big run to get back into this game. They are going to start with the Arrows of Lund, Johnston, Munger, Thury, and Falconer.
And you're exactly right. Let's do a little CBA here. Let's win a quarter. Let's win a half a quarter. Let's take some small victories and chip away at this lead a little bit. See what we can get done.
Johnston to Munger on the left wing. Munger top of the key where Thury's at. Gives it over to Falconer. Falconer looks low. Gives it up, and that's going to go out of bounds off of Stabner. This will stay in the possession of the Arrows. Johnston's going to inbound it about the half-court line to Lund. Lund picks up her dribble. She's got to get rid of it, and she does, out of bounds for a turnover.
And we're going to have an Arrow timeout, and I think this is probably an extension of the frustration we felt at halftime with that pass.
Coach Rohde has a few more things he wants to talk about.
Yes, he does.
And we're going to take a quick timeout here, too. We'll be back for third quarter action.
Cam, I was talking to a dad at halftime, and his comment to me was, yes, we've had a lot of turnovers, but they're bad turnovers. And he's exactly right. They're poor execution, and that's what's hurting us. We can correct some of those.
Hard to defend like that. You want to get that, but that was a good play by, Mitchell. Thury over on the left wing. She shoots, gets her own rebound, long rebound. She is guarded by Stabner. Out to Jade Lund. Jade Lund to Addie Johnston. Addie with the left hand. Picks her up her dribble. Now gives it off to Thury. Thury's going to looks low to Munger. Turnover by the Arrows. And the Kernels are going to turn that over right back to the Arrows. So both teams here in the second half, not very crisp, looking to tighten some things up. The Arrows certainly need to tighten some things up, get back into this ball game. Hopefully we can win this third quarter. Johnston, right-hand dribble to Munger. And they're just pushing them so far away from the hoop. Jade Lund, good quick release there, just off the mark. Rebound goes down the way of Sawyer Stabner. Stabner's going to push it right up the court. Kernels doing exactly what they do well, push the ball up the court. Now they do get into a half-court offense. Stabner over to the left wing. Sees a cutting Wyke, and Wyke is going to be fouled by, I believe that's Miranda Faulkner, and that might be her third. Well, they're going to say it's her second, I guess. The board has her with 2 fouls. Shots up, no good. Offensive board by the Kernels. Van Overshield guarded heavily by Johnston. Does get a bit off now to Seamson. Seamson at the top of the key, guarded by Faulkner. Over to White, excuse me. Seven seconds on the shot clock in their half-court offense. Shot goes up, and it is blocked by Thury. Johnston gives it all back to Thury. Thury with the left-hand dribble. She is double-teamed now down at the block, and she's going to draw the foul. Lauren Van Overshield, a 5'5" junior guard, called for the reach-in foul. They had her stuck, and they just reached in for the steal.
Typically, when you reach in and slap at that ball, there's only one thing that's going to happen, and it's going to be a foul. So good job, Emery, to hang on to that ball and keep working it, keep moving it. Don't let them grab it up.
Kirsch and Peterson back in for the Kernels.
Arrow standing around a little bit.
Johnson right hand. She's going to take that 15-footer, and she's going to get it.
Nice job for Addie coming off that screen, creating a little space.
It's Addie's first points of the night. And Addie's going to get the steal. She's going to go in with the left hand, and she is going to be fouled by Carson White. Addie Johnson will go to the line to shoot 2. First one's up and good for Addie. We'll see what happens after the game, but as of now, Addie Johnson is scheduled to come up and speak to us after the game. And she goes 2 for 2. Full court press by the Arrows. And they're going to break this and create a transition. No good. Rebound by Addie. So Addie coming out now, and she's been a spark plug for the Arrows in this third quarter. Right-hand dribble. She's going to drive in. She dishes it off to Faulkner. Faulkner up with the 3. Bullseye! Miranda Faulkner. 35.
Addie's had a great 2 minutes of basketball here. She's sparking this little run.
The Arrows come back in a, looks like maybe a 1-2-2 zone.
A little zone. They've switched back a little bit, run mostly man, but not afraid to throw in a little zone defense.
Shots up, and it is saved. That should look like a foul, not called. And it's going to go off of the Kernel player and out of bounds.
Maybe a little body not called, so we'll even those 2 out.
Jade Lund to inbound this. And we're going to get Stabner back into the game. And she will give Van Overshield a break. Jade Lund to inbound. She gets it into Johnston. Johnston, the right hand. She pushes it up to Faulkner. Faulkner now in the right wing, or left wing. Now to Lund down in the corner. Lund back to the top of the key of Faulkner, over to Thury. Thury to Lund. Lund tries to get it low to Munger. Does, and they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Brianna Kirsch.
Avery was triple teamed, and Jade had to put that ball in about a 1-inch square space. She did a nice
She did
job
it, yeah.
down there.
And that is Kirsch's third foul tonight. The Kernels do lead 35-16 in quarter number 3. Johnston looking, gets it to Lund. Lund back to Johnston. Johnston at the top of the key. Johnston dishes off to Lund. Lund with the 3. And that's going to go off the top of the apparatus here in the Watertown Civic Arena, which is out of bounds. Kernels take possession. So really making Thury work here in this full court press. Travel. So Thury just gives a little bit of pressure, and you know, the Kernels might be trying to work a little bit of a half-court offense here, slow things down, it appears, instead of running, which is their strength. And we've seen a couple of turnovers now in that half-court offense by the Mitchell Kernels.
Taking a little air out of the ball. However, the Arrows do have a 7-2 advantage in this quarter.
So what do we talk about? Small wins.
Small wins.
Arrows, let's keep going.
We've hit a 3, got a couple buckets, a couple free throws.
Johnson over to Lund on the left wing. Lund right hand dribble. Steal by Stabner. Stabner left hand dribble, no good, but is fouled by Jade Lund.
So the Arrows have not subbed in the third quarter.
I did not realize that.
And Mitchell is subbing out, and I think the Arrows are starting to fatigue a little bit.
First one's up and good. So the second of 2 in Sawyer Stabner. One's up, no good. Rebound by Thury. Thury's going to push this up to Johnston. Johnston now sees a cutting Munger. Munger just a little out of control and tries to pass that out, and it does go out of bounds. Neely Johnson looks like she's going to check in, and she's going to check in for Avery Munger.
The Arrows are going 4 deep off the bench, and the Kernels are going 3 off the bench tonight. About the same depth. Arrows with little token pressure.
I think the Arrows have gone 5 deep. They've gone down, and looks like Remmers is going to come back.
I believe you're correct.
Shots up and good for Addie Simpson. Simpson, 19 points, and we're in the third period.
Mitchell was looking a little out of sorts on that offensive possession and hoping to get a stop there. That 3 is kind of a dagger in there.
Johnston over to Neely. Johnson, Neely working. And looks like it's going to be a steal for the Kernels. Stabner pushing it back down. Now the Kernels get into their half-court offense, but they do swing it. Nice fake by Carson Wyke, and she goes in for the layup. 41-16 in period number 3. Shots up, no good. Johnson is back. It's a 2-on-1, and she just goes up with the jumper, no good, but it is rebounded by Emery Thury.
You know, talking about that fatigue a little bit, Cam, there were 4 Mitchell players down the court with 1 Watertown player down the court. So clearly they are getting back on both sides of the ball.
Johnston to Lund. Lund over to Faulkner now. Right-hand dribble in the lane. And foul is going to be called on Carson Wyke on the drive by Faulkner. It was a foul before the shot, so it should be inbounded underneath the basket. Emma Hendricks will come in, as does Jordan Remmers. Emma Hendricks, a junior. Jordan Remmers, a freshman. And steal by the Kernels. Right-hand layup for Brianna Kirsch. So the Kernels just having their way with the Arrows. Remmers tries a cross-court pass, and it does go off the outstretched arms of a Kernel. We're going to see, for the first time, Kinsey Russell, a 5'6" sophomore guard. And this might be her first action in the varsity level. So Coach Rohde trying some different things. Hendricks into Remmers. Remmers going to run that point. Right-hand dribble, gets across that 10-second line to Neely Johnson. Neely with the dribble over to Kinsey Russell. Kinsey loses her grip, but does maintain control, gets it to Hendricks. Hendricks tries to get a cutting Thury, just too much in front of her, and that is a steal by the Mitchell Kernels. Trying to go coast to coast is number 14 of Sawyer Stabner, and she picks up the foul by Emma Hendricks.
It's 3 team fouls on the Arrows, 4 on the Kernels for this quarter.
Addie Hyvert, a senior, in for the first time tonight, a 5'3" senior guard. She is going to give Emery Thury a break.
Giving the starters a minute breather here before the fourth quarter.
Drive. And Remmers gets the rebound. Sees a sprinting Russell, and Russell is on the board with 2 points. The Arrows don't get back, and it is a shot up by the Kernels of Sawyer Stabner, and she gets 2 more points. Everything going wrong for the Arrows, everything going right for the Mitchell Kernels. We're going to take this break, catch our breath. We'll be back for the fourth quarter. And we're back here in the Watertown Civic Arena. While the Arrows didn't win that quarter, they did much better, I think, in on that side of the ball. It was, what was that, Lynn?
12-9, the Kernels beat the Arrows.
All right.
Certainly better than the first 2 quarters.
So the Arrows looking to now win the fourth quarter. Again, small wins. They did better in that third quarter. Of course, Mitchell is slowing it down, getting into that half-court offense. Steal by the Watertown Arrows. Johnston to Thury. Thury gets the mid-range jumper, shoots, no good. She gets her own rebound. She's going to go up with the right hand, and she's going to get that one to drop. Thury has 4 points on the night.
All starters back in for the Arrows for the start of the fourth quarter.
Rebound by Munger. Outlets to Johnston. Johnston feeds Thury, who's down there. Thury with the step through. Left-handed, no good. Rebound by Stabner. Stabner pushes it up the court to Van Overshield. Van Overshield is going to be fouled by Jade Lund.
You know, the last minute of that third quarter was certainly a track meet, throwing the ball back and forth. Nobody from either team was really running the court, and we're kind of starting out this way too, a little bit sloppy.
Lauren Van Overshield, a 5'5" junior guard at the line. First one's up and good. That's her first point of the night. She's going to try and make it 2. Thury to inbound. And steal by the Kernels. Stabner's up and in. Stabner with 16 points in this game. Faulkner trying to get it across that 10-second line, and she does. Going to get it off to Lund on the right perimeter. Johnston saw Munger underneath, and that was the right look.
Absolutely.
Just not quite enough air underneath it, and Mitchell was able to get their hands on it and knock it out of bounds. But right thought by Addie Johnston. Addie's looking, and she gets it out to Thury. Thury, left-hand dribble. She goes with the step through and off the glass for 2.
Nice to see one of those layups go down for us.
Kernels really slowing things up. Arrows coming out in that zone, 1-2-2 zone. Shots up, and it is good for her 4th point on the night. Van Overshield. Johnston, right-hand dribble. Passes up a cutting Faulkner. Gives it over to Thury in the paint. Over to Jade Lund. Jade Lund's going to shoot off the front of the rim. Rebound goes down to the Mitchell Kernels. They're going to push it up and then slow it back down. The Arrows will come down and match up into their zone. Stabner's going to take the shot. No good. Rebound, Addie Johnston. Addie's going to go up, and she's going to get that shot to go. So Addie Johnston with her 6th point tonight. Kernels up 51-24 in period number 4.
Arrows staying in that zone defense, save a little bit of energy, and a lot harder to work the man-to-man.
Steal by the Arrows. Thury on the fast break. She goes up, and the right-handed layup, and that is good. Thury with 8 points.
Mitchell's definitely slowing the ball down here in the 4th quarter.
I think Coach Brooks is looking to work some things out. He knows that's not their strength. This is a good time to work on some things. Shots up. No good. Fight comes down and won by Addie Johnston. Addie Johnston feeds it forward to Faulkner. Faulkner tries to get it to Munger. Just a little too far, but it is brought down and corralled by the Arrows. Shots off the mark by Addie Johnston. Stabner thought about going full court pass with that. Instead, she slowed it down. Foul by Faulkner. That will send Lauren Van Overshield to the foul line. So Van Overshield goes to the line. She's got 4 fouls. Both teams are going to bring in some substitutions for the Arrows. It's going to be Neely Johnson, Malia Kranz, and Addie Hivert. First one's up and good for Lauren Van Overshield. They're also going to bring in Madison Grimsrud and Molly Hendricks.
Wholesale change for the Arrows.
Maddie Kemp comes in for the Kernels. Peterson's on the court. Stabner's on the court. Van Overshield's on the court. As is Carson Wyke. Now we'll see Brianna Kirsch along with Matea Graves, a 5'5" freshman, getting her first action of the night. Number 11 is a freshman for the Mitchell Kernels. Neely Johnson brings it over to Kranz. Kranz looks low. She's going to dribble, goes over to Neely. Neely Johnson with the drive, tries to go a split 2. Not going to do. Steal by the Kernels. Shots up, no good. Molly Hendricks comes down with the rebound. Molly gets it across that 10-second line. It's into Neely. Neely goes up for the shot. And she is going to be fouled. So Neely Johnson will go to the line. So
First time at the line tonight for Neely, I believe.
I think it is too. And it's up and good. So Neely Johnson's on the board with 1 point.
Not a lot of free throws by either team tonight. No, I don't think any team has reached 5 for a quarter.
Oh, really?
All free throws, I believe, have been shooting fouls.
So Neely Johnson goes 2 for 2. And Neely's going to take a break. And Andy Olson, another freshman, in for the Arrows. Andy Olson, a 5'6" freshman guard. So wholesale change for Coach Rohde. Trying to get some success here in the early going. Steal by the Arrows. Madison Grimsrud gets that, gives it off to Olson. Olson pushes it up the court to Molly Hendricks. Molly tracks it down. Tries to get it into Grimsrud. But turnover by the Kernels.
It's like the Arrows back in a little man-to-man here.
Van Overshield's picked up by Hyvert. Oh no, that's Andy Olson, I believe. There's Olson. Over to Molly Hendricks. Molly shoots. No good. And in for Mitchell. Number 13. Tally Pichon. And who else came in there, Lynn?
Well, it was the last 2 players on the bench. So the benches have cleared for both teams now. Would that be correct?
Matea Graves. Tally Pichon in. Maddie Kemp. Drive by Graves. Kirsch tries to go low. It does go off of an arrow and out of bounds. 2:02 remaining in this matchup between the Mitchell Kernels and the Watertown Arrows. Inbound goes to Matea Graves, and Matea Graves gets on the board with a 3. Andy Olson gets it across the 10-second line, left hand, picks it up, goes over to Molly Hendricks. Now to Addie Hyvert. Addie Hyvert drives, gives it over to Andy. Andy, left hand, now to Madison Grimsrud. Madison looks, gives it over to Kranz. Kranz takes a 3-pointer, no good. Molly Hendricks tracks down that rebound. Out to Hyvert. Hyvert left hand dribble. Molly Hendricks now back to Andy Olson. Andy Olson shoots and arrow bullseye! Andy Olson. .109 remaining. Steal by Molly Hendricks. Going to give it back to Molly. Molly to Andy, and it's going to go off of either Molly or Andy. I couldn't see if it went off of Olson's hands or not, but either way, turnover by the Arrows. 50 seconds remaining in period number 4.
Certainly get some nice play time, though, for the younger Arrows. Get them some varsity court experience.
Looking down low. Shots up. No good. Rebound. Malia Kranz off to Andy Olson. Andy Olson brings it across that 10-second line. 20 seconds remaining. Andy sees Maddie. Maddie shoots. She's got it. 2 points for Madison Grimsrud. Madison Grimsrud, a 6'1" junior. Shots up and no good. That is game. Mitchell Kernels defeat the Watertown Arrows 56-33. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back. We might be joined by Addison Johnston. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a bit. And welcome back to the Watertown Civic Arena. We're waiting to see if we will have a visitor from the Aero locker room tonight. The Mitchell Kernels did defeat the Watertown Arrows. As we look around the state, with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Huron is up on Brookings 56-37. O'Gorman, the number one ranked team in the state, goes right after Sioux Falls Roosevelt, defeating them 58-16. Sioux Falls Jefferson is up 53-46 over Brandon Valley. With 1 minute left in the fourth quarter, Sioux Falls Jefferson is the third ranked team in South Dakota. Sioux Falls Washington defeats Yankton 55-36. Sioux Falls Washington is the second ranked team in South Dakota. And then we've got the Mitchell, of course, defeating Watertown here in the Watertown Civic Arena. That does capture all of the girls' AA matchups in the state tonight. On the boys' side, Harrisburg going against Sioux Falls Lincoln. That is 35-32 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Sioux Falls Washington defeats Yankton 53-37. Mitchell boys, they are the third ranked, and they do defeat the Watertown Arrows down in Mitchell tonight, 69-42. So both Mitchell squads are, pretty good, I would say.
I would say they are.
Sioux Falls Roosevelt playing O'Gorman. That's a matchup of ranked teams. I do not have the exact score, but Sioux Falls Roosevelt, I do believe, is up on O'Gorman, and they're playing at the Sanford Pentagon. And then Brookings is facing off against Huron tonight, and Douglas versus St. Thomas More. Again, those matches we do not have scores for at this time. So right here on Watertown, or on Aero TV, we've got some broadcasts coming up. Our next broadcast is wrestling. We'll have the Hall of Famer Brian DeYoung will have the call there, and that is Brookings Wrestling versus Brookings on December 14th at 7 p.m. right here on Arrow TV. And then we've got a doubleheader here on Arrow TV versus Pier next Tuesday, December 9th. The times have been moved up a little bit. The girls will play at 5 o'clock p.m. and the boys will play at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, December 19th. So the Arrows tonight, they go 1-1, or they're now 1-1 on the season. As are, well, Mitchell is now 2-0 on the season. Both teams played against each other in the state tournament last year, where Mitchell did defeat the Watertown Arrows. Watertown looking to get back to the state tournament. They obviously made it last year after a 14-year drought. Looking to get back there again, but there's a lot of work to do.
There's a lot of work to do. And clearly, the little extra time we spent in the locker room at halftime, the quick time out into the third quarter, Coach Orty is not happy and probably not very satisfied with what he saw tonight. But there's a lot of positives for the season yet going forward, and we got to build on those. And I'm sure he'll address those, and they'll work those things out.
How did we do in that fourth quarter? Did we win the fourth quarter?
We did. Let me think here. Looks like we won the fourth quarter 15-11 by my notes.
So we take the positives from tonight, and the fourth quarter we won. The Arrows got a lot of players on the court with some varsity action, a little experience there. So what other positives can we take from tonight? Well, we also didn't say per se win the third quarter, but we hung with them. We were right there. And, you look at the missed open threes. Look at how many layups rolled off the rim. Some of those threes go in, you make your layups. It's a different ball game. You might not win this game, but it's certainly a little more competitive. So those are certainly things that we can look at as positives. Those shots are going to fall. Yeah, I think there's some positives, and just as you said in that first part of the game tonight, if we did have some really good looks down there at those high percentage shots. They just did not fall for us tonight. Had they fallen, we might have had a different ball game here. It certainly would have helped. Definitely would have helped. Made a difference early, and we just have to do a better job of stopping that transition game. I agree. So we know what we've got coming up. Again, Brian DeYoung will have the call for you on this Thursday. Next week, right here, I'll have the call for you at 5 p.m. Doubleheader versus the Pier Governors. And the girls go first. The boys will follow that up at 7 p.m. Hey, our production crew is second to none. They are top notch. Tonight we had Austin Thompson as our audio-video technician, main cameras, Mason Mogg and Kyle Gall. Courtside cameras were Sonny Rader and Jonathan McCorkle. We are produced by Carter Miller. Our in-house graphics was Katie Liederbrand, and we are directed by Ryan Remmers. As we do each and every night here on Arrow TV, want to remind you that an arrow can only be shot by pulling it backwards. So when life is dragging you back with difficulties, it means it's going to launch you into something great. So just focus and keep aiming. We'll see you next time on Arrow TV. Good night. Good night.